Here's something wild. The AI automation tool everyone's been talking about just pulled a complete identity switch overnight. If you installed Clawdbot thinking you were set for life, you need to hear this right now. Because what just happened affects every single person running this on their machine, and the security implications might actually blow your mind. Stick around because I'm about to show you exactly what's happening behind the scenes, why this rebrand could break your setup, and the security risks that almost nobody's talking about. So here's what went down. I fired up Clawdbot this morning like usual, except it wasn't Clawdbot anymore. The interface now says Moltbot. The documentation redirects to Moltbot. Everything's been switched over. Peter Steinberger, the creator, posted this official announcement explaining the situation. Trademark issues. That's the short version. And we all know which company probably had something to say about a tool called Clawdbot. So Peter made the call to rebrand to Moltbot. Problem solved, right? Not exactly. Here's where this gets technical, but stay with me because this is crucial. When you rebrand software, you're not just changing a logo and calling it a day. You're dealing with code that has references, variables, identifiers, configuration files, all pointing to the old name. I pulled up the Moltbot installation script, the one-liner that everyone's been running to set this thing up. And guess what? I searched for Clawdbot in the code. Want to know how many references I found? 177 references to Clawdbot still living in the Moltbot codebase. That's not a typo. Even though the tool has been officially rebranded, the underlying infrastructure is still running on Clawdbot architecture. Now, why does this matter? Because when you're working with environment variables, configuration files, plugin integrations, anything that references these strings, you've got a consistency problem. Some documentation says Clawdbot, some says Moltbot, some code expects one name, some expects the other. And if you're someone who's not deeply technical, if you're following tutorials or community guides that were written last week when everything was still Clawdbot, and now you're trying to implement them on Moltbot, stuff's going to break. Variables won't match, paths won't resolve, and you're going to be sitting there wondering what you did wrong. The answer? You didn't do anything wrong. The code base is in this weird transition state where it's both names at once. But here's what's actually keeping me up at night, and this goes way beyond the rebrand. During all the Clawdbot hype, I started noticing something that frankly scared me. People are spinning up servers to run this remotely, which makes sense. Except most have absolutely no idea what they're doing from a security standpoint. I've seen servers with completely open ports, no authentication, no firewall rules, nothing. Anyone with basic technical knowledge and a port scanner can find these installations and access them from anywhere on the internet. Think about what that means. This tool has access to your files, browser sessions, API keys, work documents, personal information. If your server's sitting there wide open, you've essentially given the entire internet a backdoor into your digital life. Now add the rebrand confusion on top of that, and you've got the perfect storm for security disasters. And speaking of disasters, we need to talk about the scam wave that's already hitting. Peter even mentioned this in his announcement. Fake crypto tokens claiming to be affiliated with Moltbot or Clawdbot. People are literally creating coins to capitalize on the hype and dumping them on unsuspecting buyers. But it doesn't stop there. I've seen fake repositories pop up. Copycat domains. Someone registered Moltbot with 2 T's because they know people are going to misspell it. And if you land on one of those domains and download their version of the installation script, you have no idea what you're actually installing on your machine. Could be malware, could be a keylogger, could be ransomware, could be anything. And you'd be running it with full system privileges because that's how this tool operates. Then there's the Telegram scams. Since Moltbot integrates with Telegram for messaging commands, scammers are setting up fake bots that impersonate the real thing. People think they're talking to their AI assistant, but they're actually feeding commands and potentially sensitive information to someone running a phishing operation. This is why verification matters. This is why you need to be absolutely certain you're downloading from the official source. Go to Moltbot's actual website. Check the official GitHub repository. Don't trust random links in Discord servers or Reddit threads. So if you've already got Clawdbot installed, what happens now? The good news is your installation continues to work. The underlying technology hasn't changed. The capabilities are the same. Your configurations, your memory files, your automations, all of that stays intact. What changes is everything forward-facing. Documentation now points to Moltbot. Community discussions are shifting to the new name. Plugin developers need to update their references. And if you're sharing your setup with others or following new tutorials, you're going to need to mentally translate between the old and new naming convention. The confusion window is probably going to last a few months. Until the ecosystem fully migrates, until all the old Clawbot content gets updated or phases out, there's going to be this awkward period where both names coexist. For technical users, this is annoying, but manageable. For people just getting started or folks who aren't comfortable debugging configuration mismatches, this could be genuinely frustrating. My advice? If you're already running it and everything works, leave it alone for now. Don't mess with something that isn't broken. But if you're installing fresh, make absolutely sure you're following the most current documentation from the official Moltbot sources. Here's what really matters though. This rebrand is a symptom of something bigger that's happening in the AI automation space right now. We're in this explosive growth phase where tools like this are capturing massive attention, spinning up huge communities, and attracting both legitimate users and bad actors. The technology is incredibly powerful. Having an AI agent that can control your browser, access your files, run commands, remember context, and automate complex workflows, that's genuinely game-changing. This isn't hype. This is real utility that can save hours of work. But power comes with responsibility, and right now, a lot of people are rushing to adopt this without fully understanding what they're giving access to or how to protect themselves. The rebrand complicates things temporarily, but it doesn't change the fundamental equation. You still need to verify your sources. You still need to secure your installation. You still need to understand that you're giving an AI agent significant control over your digital environment. Whether it's called Clawdbot or Moltbot doesn't change that reality. So, bottom line, Clawdbot is now Moltbot. It's the same tool with a new name because of trademark concerns. Your existing setup keeps working. New installations should use official sources only. The confusion around the naming will settle down over the next few months as the ecosystem adapts. But the security concerns? Those aren't going anywhere. Lock down your installations. Verify everything you download. Don't trust random guides without checking they're from legitimate sources. This tool has serious potential. Multi-agent frameworks, persistent memory, workflow automation, all of that is possible and powerful. I'm going to keep using it, keep exploring what it can do, and keep sharing what I learn. If you want to follow along with that journey, subscribe to the channel. I'm constantly testing new capabilities, finding interesting use cases, and yeah, probably running into some weird edge cases that I'll share so you don't have to. Verify your sources, lock down your systems, and remember that just because something's powerful doesn't mean it's safe to run carelessly. That's it for this one. See you in the next video.